Hello and welcome to this session. Today we are going to see how to install Appium on Windows, and this is going to be very easy, very interesting, and I'm going to start from scratch from very basics and go up step by step. So do not worry if this is the first time you are using Appium. This is going to be very easy, and in this session we are going to learn how to install Appium with Node.js and then how to install Appium with Appium Desktop Client. So these are the two ways that you can use to install Appium on Windows, and I will show you both of these ways and then you can see which is the better way for you. We will then see how to check the installation and dependencies using appium-doctor, and then finally we will see how can we uninstall Appium if required. So let's get started, and then let us see the very first way, which is installing Appium with Node.js. So this is the very first thing that we are going to see, and here I will go to my Windows and you can see this is my Windows. There is no Node.js, no Appium here, so we are going to start from very basic. So the step number one here will be check if Node.js is installed on your system. So for that what you will do is go to your command line on your Windows. So let us go to the command line, and you can either start your command line as an administrator or you can just start as any user, and then you can say node space hyphen hyphen version. So when you click enter, if you are getting this kind of a message that node is not recognized as an internal or external command, that means node is not installed. You can also check npm, and if node is not installed, npm is also not installed on your system, and you can check with this command. So this means node and npm is not installed. So the very first thing is you have to check if node is installed by using node space hyphen hyphen version, and the same thing you can say npm space hyphen hyphen version. Instead of hyphen hyphen version, you can also say minus v or hyphen v, which is one and the same thing, and it will give you the result. So in our case this is not installed. So what I'm going to do is now we are going to install Node.js. So step number 2 will be download Node.js installer. So I will go to my browser, and here I will say download Node.js and hit enter. So the very first option you will get here is this nodejs.org en download. Let us go here, and here you can see the installer of Node.js, and you can select the installer, and by default it will show you, for example I am on Windows, so it is showing me this Windows installer for 64-bit, and also you can check your bit size if you go to your folders, and here just do a right click on my computer or this PC and go to properties. Here you can see your system type, so mine is 64-bit. So you can just go and click on this Windows installer and it will download the Node.js installer, and you can see this is getting downloaded. So let me also copy this URL, and all these nodes will be available for you. So I'm just adding the URLs here. I will say download it from here, and then once this is downloaded, step number 3 will be we have to run the installer and install node.js and npm. So npm is the package manager for Node, and by default with Node you will get npm as well. So let us see. Now you can see this is now downloaded. Let me go to the folder, and yes, here it is. I will just double click on this installer and run node installer, and you can see this is here. So let me minimize other things and say next, accept the terms and license. So you can just read this agreement and then accept it and say next. And here you will get the location where you want to have Node. So by default it will be C program files Node.js. So I will not change it. I will just say next and keep it as it is and say next. So here you can just see what all will be you will be getting. You will be getting Node.js, you will be getting npm and all these things, some documentation. Say next, and now I will click on install so that the installation will begin. So this will install Node and npm on my system, and yes, click on finish. So now this is done. Now let us run the same commands again. If I say node space hyphen hyphen version, as of now I'm still not getting, so that means I will have to start a new command line. So I will exit from here and I will start a new command prompt, and now I will say node space hyphen hyphen version, and you can see I'm getting the version for node. I can also use -v instead of minus version, and that should also work, and yes, this is working. Similarly for npm I will say npm minus version or npm -v, and it will show me the version for npm. The other command that you can use is you can say where node, so it will show you the location of node, and you can see it is C program files node.js, and I will say where npm, and here you can see the location of npm. So our step number 4 is check if node.js and npm are installed, and these are the commands again that you will use. So I'll just copy it here. So I'm writing all these nodes so that these nodes will be available for you. Where node and where npm, these are the commands that you can use. So now we have done installation of node and npm. So now step number 5 will be, step number 5 is, now we will install Appium with Node.js, and the command for that is we will say npm install -g option is for installing globally on your system, and Appium. So I will go to my Windows and say npm install -g Appium, and I will hit enter, and I think there was some mistake, I think a spelling mistake. Let me say, yes, I used 3 L's here. Let me correct it. Yes, npm install -g Appium, and hit enter, and you can see it is now downloading and will install Appium on this Windows system. So let's just wait, and yes, this is done, and there may be some errors and some warnings, but let us just check if our installation is successful. So for that, what we have to do is step number 6 will be we have to check if Appium is installed properly on our system, and for that we have some commands, and the commands are, you can use appium hyphen version or -v, and you can also similarly use the command where appium. So I will use these commands. I will say appium -version, it will show me the appium version installed, and let us just wait, and you can see this is the version 1.10, and also I can say simple appium -v, this should also show me the same result, and yes, this is fine. And if I say where appium, you can see this is the location of appium. So whatever location you have, that should be fine. So this was step number 6, and now finally we have got appium. So step number 7 should be we have to check and start appium, and the command for that will be simple. We have to run the command appium. So let me do that. I will say appium and hit enter, and this should start the appium server. And yes, you can see appium server is started, and this is started on the port 4723, which is the default port for appium. So this is started. If you want to stop the server, you can press Ctrl and C combination on your keyboard, and it will shut down. So that's it. So that means appium is now available on your Windows system. So this was the way how to install Appium with Node.js, and let us also see how to install Appium with Appium Desktop Client. So this is very easy. Here step number one will be we have to download Appium Desktop Client. So here if you go to your browser and go to Appium official website, which is appium.io. Let me just go there. It is appium.io. Yes. So here you can see this is the official website of Appium, and I will also copy this and have it here in my notes. So here you can see, if you go here, you have the option to download Appium. So I will click on download Appium, and it will take you to this GitHub page. I will also copy this direct link of this GitHub page here in the notes, and here you can see the latest version is 1.8.2, and for Windows you just have to take this exe file. So appium desktop setup exe, this is something I can take. Let me click here and it will start downloading, and once this is downloaded we will start it. So here step number 2 will be install Appium Desktop Client. So Appium Desktop Client is a UI through which you can control it, and let me just show you. If we have the on the GitHub page, if we have some documentation, you can see Appium server and inspector in desktop GUIs for Mac, Windows and Linux. So it provides us a GUI, and you can handle and manage your Appium from there. And you can see this is the Appium desktop. So this is how it will look like once you start it, and there is a known issue as well, so you can read this. Some Windows 10 users might experience path too long exception, and here they have also given the solution here. You can check this in case you face this issue, and you can also read this documentation. Appium Desktop is an app for Mac, Windows and Linux which gives you the power of Appium automation server in a beautiful and flexible UI. So this is what it is, and now we have got the exe. So let us run this exe to get our Appium Desktop client on our system. So I will just run this, and here it is. And you can see, so the very first thing is you can select if you have multiple users on your system. If you just want to select for you only, so as of now I am the administrator on this system, so it is asking only for me or anyone. So I want anyone on this system should be able to use this Appium, and let us say install, and this will start the installation process. So this process may take some time, so let us just wait for this process to be completed. So now you can see this is completed, and this process can take some time, so do not worry if the installation takes some time. And now finally I am going to click on finish, and you can see this run Appium is checked, so this will now start Appium. I will say finish, and this will start the Appium desktop client now. Let us just wait. And you can see this Appium desktop is coming up, and here you can see this is the UI, and here is the host, and here is the port. So by default the host is 0000 and port is 4723, and you can now click on start server, and this will start the Appium server, and you can see the Appium server is running. And now also you can see that I have on my system Appium Desktop Client as well as Appium installed through Node.js. So if I go to my command line and try to run Appium by saying Appium and hit enter, you will see that it will not start, and it will say that because this port was already in use. And the same thing you can see here. If I stop it from here, I will just stop the server and start Appium from the command line. This time it will start, and you can see it has started on the port 4723. And if I try to start on the same port here, which is 4723, I will get the message that error starting on this particular port 4723. So you can see I cannot start on the same port. And so we have done this second step, installation of Appium Desktop Client, and next step is starting of Appium Desktop Client, which we have already done. Start Appium through Appium Desktop Client, and this is done. Now the other topic that is very important is we have to check Appium installation and requirements or dependencies. We can install appium-doctor. Now what appium-doctor is, let us go to our browser again, and I will search for appium-doctor, and let us search for this, and you can see this is the GitHub page for appium-doctor. I will go here. Let me also copy this URL and provide it here in the notes. And here you can see appium-doctor is an application and a tool to verify Appium installation. And here this is how you can get it. So you can get it through npm. So because we already have Node installed, I can just use this command. I will copy this, and you can see attempt to diagnose and fix common Node iOS and Android configuration. So I will tell you what this is in a moment. Let me go to my command line. I will just stop the Appium server, clear my screen, and I will say npm install appium-doctor -g, and this will install appium-doctor. Let me also put this here in the notes, and all these notes will be available to you. So here, yes, so you can see appium-doctor is now installed, and now I will run this command. You can see the usage here. You can see the help by running appium-doctor -h, and these are all the options that you can use with appium-doctor. So I will run appium-doctor -h, and it will show me the options available. So if you want to check the version, you can say -- version. So I will say -- version, and it will show you the version number. So this is the version number. In case I want to check the Android setup, I have to use the flag -- Android. So I will say appium-doctor -- Android, and it will show me all the information and warning. So you can see I have not yet set Android home. So this is a warning. It is saying ADB could not be found because Android home is not set. So this is going to be very useful. Whenever you have some issue, you can always run this appium-doctor and see what is the missing things that you need to do, and this will be very useful. There are a lot of things that you can use. So you can also check it for iOS, Android, debug, and so on. So this is how you can use appium-doctor. And now finally we will see how to uninstall Appium. So now in case you have installed Appium through npm or node, you can just go to your command line and say npm uninstall -g Appium, and it will uninstall Appium. So you can see this is now uninstalling Appium. And just in case if you have used the Appium Desktop Client, you can always go to your add and remove programs on Windows. So on your control panel, you will have add or remove programs. I am directly going to here, add and remove programs, and you will find your Appium here. So in case you have added through Appium Desktop Client, you can just uninstall it from here. So this is how you can uninstall Appium in case required, and this is how you can install Appium on Windows. And I hope this session was very useful for you. Thank you for watching.